Hello and welcome to another bodgit and leggit video. Finally, I have gotten back to my Mark 1 AVO, and I did a video a few months ago on these sexy bad boys. Now, these are the biggest brakes you can fit underneath a 13-inch wheel. These are huge. They're from High Spec, made in the UK. Can't remember where the company's based, but the fellow that owns it is called Alex. Really nice guy, to the point of, when I got my kit there was a slight problem. This is the caliper, as you can see. This thing bolts onto the caliper, as you can see here, and then that bolts onto the actual hub, or the actual suspension at this point. But it was it wasn't in line. Now, to be fair to Alex, and I have to, a big thank you to him, I didn't buy these direct from him. Now, he made them. I didn't realise you could buy direct from him, but then I realised you could. And what he did, for free of charge, he made me another bracket. Now, as you can see, there's a slight indentation, and it's a few mil. Let's just line these up so you can get an idea. As you can see, it's a few mil higher and it's a tiny bit thinner, and that allows me, this brake now goes directly in the middle. The kit does come with special spaces and stuff. It's just, it wouldn't work with my particular setup. And like he said, the problem is what he has to do. He has to make a kit to fit everybody's car, because everybody's car is slightly different. So, you know, he basically makes a kit to suit. Now, he custom made this kit for me, and he didn't charge any more, which was just, I mean, I couldn't say fairer than that. So he made these brackets for me. Again, there's a little indentation, and yeah. So look, big thanks to Alex. I'll put links to his website and everything down below. So what I'm now going to do is basically put these on, install them properly onto my disc. So what I need to do first is, I'm going to have to get the right bracket, which is here, and literally just put it, oh, let me see there on camera, just put it to my caliper. And there's two Allen key bolts that go straight through, so hopefully I'm catching this. Spring washers on it as well, and as we can see, that then screws all the way into there, and with these two holes that goes on to the actual suspension arm, which hangs off it, which gives me my brakes. Now I'm going to tighten these up. I think they are, I'm not sure. They are 8mm Allen keys. I can do the final tight once it's actually on the car. It's going to make my life a lot easier. Now, same with all these bolts, they're not mild steel bolts. They are a lot stronger than normal bolts, which they kind of have to be, because they're going to have to take a lot of abuse. A hell of a lot of abuse. Next thing I need to do, which you're not going to be able to see, but behind this disc, my stub axle is slightly different to a normal car, but the stub axle has two stubs coming off, which these two here bolt into, which basically hangs the caliper and everything over. But I just can't get to how light this is. I mean, this is just so light. It is phenomenal. To give you an idea, these two pads, as you can see, the two pads in my hand weigh more than this caliper and hanger. That's how light they are. And these pads aren't exactly heavy, but they weigh more than all of this. That's how light these things are. They're just phenomenal. Right, so I'm going to tighten these properly once I actually get this hung on. Now, it is hard to kind of get some sort of scale on just how big these brakes are, but I can assure you these brakes are absolutely huge. Great stopping power. I have done another video on the three-piece disc, so you've got the disc, the bell, you've got everything. So as regards heat, they dissipate heat, they can take a lot of heat, and they are just humongous. So what I've got to do now is I've got to put these bolts in behind. So we've got two, again, I think these are slightly smaller Allen keys. No, they're 8mm as well, so 8mm Allen keys, which is going to go in these two holes here, which then hangs the actual caliper for me. Now, as we can see, we are beginning to look like brakes. And like I said, I've now got an even gap between my brakes, and my pads are going to fit on all nice and stuff. These are Frodo racing pads. They're S3000s. They are unbelievable. Don't last long, but very, very grippy. You will hear, like you hear, if you've ever gone to racing tracks, racing cars and rally cars tend to squeak a lot as if the brakes are warm, but that's just the way these are. That's just kind of the way they're set up. Road pads, they're designed not to do that, but road pads have to last a lot longer. So, you know, if they last longer, they're not as good. You have to compromise. But when you're doing it for a rally car or a track car, like that, you don't really have to compromise. You just go for the pure full-on racing. With this being what this car is, might as well do it. So we've now got that. All I've got to literally do now is tighten everything. So it is just a case of going around, giving all these a good squeeze. I'll do the back ones first. The other thing, what these brakes are designed for is changing the pads very quickly. There's just one little Allen key that say is, maybe it's 5 mil, is it? I'm not sure. No, 6 mil. So there's 6 mil Allen key here, which you undo. Pads can slide in and out in a matter of seconds, which means you can change them quicker, which is obviously what you need to do to get a quick turnaround for your next stage or your next event, whatever it happens to be, rather than wasting your time, you know, spending half an hour trying to change your pads. Now, they are on. The advantage to these, now what I had on before, I had AP racing ones on before, nowhere near as big as this though. The advantage and the reason why you'd have these is, one reason, they're a lot lighter, which helps weight, helps with everything. And also they're designed to take more abuse basically. That's kind of the key as well. So, all I've got to do to actually put the pads on is take off this big long bolt here. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this because I've got a good few bits to do on it, getting it ready for next year for all the events I'm going to hopefully be doing. Now this pin pulls out, which releases this little fella here, which now means I can get in and out of here very easily. Pads literally slide in, as you can see. That is it. That is now a set of pads on this car. Simple as that. This then goes back, keeps them in place, and then to change them, you just literally get your finger in behind them and slide them out. Takes longer to take off the wheel than it would actually to change these. Very, very quickly. And there we go. And believe me, these will put you through the window. You had these on a normal road car, unbelievable. But obviously on a normal road car, the problem with this setup, well, not so much the setup, the brakes are fine, but if you put these pads in a normal road car, they won't last very long and they're very expensive. So you could go with you could go with like a, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but you can get like a fast road pad, which is kind of in between, you know, a track pad and a road pad. Don't last as long as the normal pads, but they last longer than these, and you don't kind of get the squeaks, you don't get anything with them. Because if you drive through town with these on it, you can honestly sound like your car's ready to fall apart, because they don't sound particularly great. But I like that sound. I just like that mechanical sound. It's just like the gearbox in this. It's straight cut gears, a Quaife dog box. So when you drive, you hear the whining of the gears. It's just, for me anyway, it's fantastic. I like that sound. So I'm going to be doing filming inside the car as well, just so you can hear all them sounds. If you're like a petrol head, it's like that raw sound. I can't really describe it. You either like it or you don't. But I just love the sound of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some copper grease on these. before I go any further. I have to apologise to keep doing these X-rated videos. I'm going to get banned off YouTube because this is just proper porn. Yeah, just anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these out again and just bang them up with copper grease. Like I said, the style of these, you're going to get noise coming from them anyway. This just does kind of help. Copper grease is designed to take a lot of grief, a lot of heat, so I'm just literally spreading it all the way across. A nice coating. Slapping them in. Now, I can't wait to get these out on the track for a test day. Just to see what the puppies can do, because I know they're going to be phenomenal. But it's like everything, you need everything to be working for you. You know, I've heard people I know, oh yeah, they do this, they do that, think they're adding horsepower, think they're doing something. But if you don't do everything, you can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you can't stop, well then it's useless. Brakes and tyres are the most important thing that I'm talking about on the road and on the track. If you don't have good brakes and good rubber, well then it doesn't matter if you've got millions of horsepower, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So, and the other thing is, you know, better brakes, you can brake into the corner later, and that's how you can overtake people. You don't particularly it's not out and out power. You need everything working for you. And people forget to upgrade the brakes. That's one thing they always do. Even just by putting different pads in, even by just putting racing pads in, it's amazing what difference that can even do. But just remember, if you start trying to put kind of pads or anything, any hard pad on your car, just remember that you will start eating through your discs quicker and all that sort of stuff. You know, these are full-on rally discs and full-on rally pads or racing pads, but they won't particularly last long. You know, just because of what people think, oh, they'll last for ages. They don't. They're designed to wear quicker because they work better. Anyway, so I'm going to put this back on. As you can see, this little thing here has a flat edge on one side. So in other words, it won't fit there like that. That's the rounded edge and it won't fit on. I have to get the flat edge into it to actually get this thing to fit. Once it's lined up, you're okay. Okay. And there we go. Isn't that just one of the sexiest things you've ever seen? The hubs on this are the Group 4 alley hubs, so they're designed to take the heat away. Again, they're lighter, they're stronger, and that's basically what you're trying to do with any type of rally car or track car. Add less weight. If you add less weight, your car will go faster. Simple as that. Just add less weight, and all these things help for adding less weight. So that's one side done. I've got to put the braided hose back on this and bleed the whole system, but I've got to do other work before I can kind of do that anyway. So I'm going to call it for this video. There is more videos coming up on this Mark 1 Escort, the AVO. And yes, look, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.